High up in Korea's beautiful mountains, there are peaceful places called Sansa. These are Buddhist mountain monasteries. They're old and full of history and spirituality, like a window into Korea's soul. For many years, people have come to these quiet places to learn about Buddhism, study, and keep Korean culture alive. They're far away from the noisy world, perfect for meditating and finding inner peace. But Sansa are more than just religious spots. They show us Korea's amazing culture. They have incredible buildings, detailed artwork, and important religious objects. Each one has a story to tell. Inside, time feels slower, like you can forget your worries and just relax. Even getting to a Sansa is an adventure. You'll walk through bamboo forests and see beautiful waterfalls. The air is fresh and smells like pine trees. You might even hear monks chanting. It's like the rest of the world disappears. Let's explore the Sansa together. We'll learn about their history, their amazing buildings, what they believe, and the beautiful nature around them. Come with us as we discover the secrets and peace of these special places. The story of the Sansa starts when Buddhism came to Korea around the year 300. Kings built many temples, which became schools for learning Buddhism. These temples influenced Korean art, writing, and thought. Despite wars, the Sansa remained safe havens. They always bounced back and stayed important. Today, we cherish the Sansa for their beauty and cultural significance. 7 are on the UNESCO World Heritage List, showing Korea's spirit. Let's go back to when Buddhism first came to Korea. Around 372, Korea was split into 3 kingdoms: Goguryeo, Baekje, and Silla. Buddhism arrived in Goguryeo, brought by a monk named Sundo from China. King Sosurim welcomed Sundo and Buddhism, hoping it would bring peace. This was a big moment for Korea. Buddhism spread and Sansa temples appeared. These temples became centers for learning and meditation. Artists, scholars, and monks gathered there seeking peace. Kings and queens built beautiful temples in the mountains. These mountain temples were perfect for meditation. Mountains were seen as holy, making Sansa even more special. The Silla kingdom really loved Buddhism. King Beopheung, who became king in 514, made Buddhism the official religion of Silla. He wanted lots of Sansa built because he thought it would make his kingdom strong and happy. During this time, the Sansa became even more amazing. They had temples, pagodas, and places for the monks to live, all decorated with beautiful carvings and colorful paintings telling stories about Buddha. One great example is Bulguksa Temple, built on Mount Toom near Gyeongju, the Silla capital. It took many years to build, and it was finished in 774. Bulguksa is a masterpiece. Its stone pagodas, wooden halls, and carvings show how Silla combined their art with Buddhism. Because Silla loved Buddhism so much, the Sansa became even more organized. Monks started different groups with different ways of studying and practicing Buddhism. The Sansa became like libraries, keeping important Buddhist writings safe. But it wasn't always easy. The 3 kingdoms fought a lot, and sometimes the Sansa were attacked. But even with these problems, people in Korea still believed in Buddhism, and the Sansa stayed important. The Sansa had to be tough to survive. When Silla united the 3 kingdoms, Buddhism became even stronger. The Silla kings kept supporting the Sansa because they were important for learning, culture, and spirituality. Monks were important people, and some even advised the king. This was a great time for Buddhist art, writing, and philosophy. Lots of important artists and thinkers came from the Sansa. But things changed again. Later, Korea had more fighting and problems. The Sansa weren't taken care of and sometimes got destroyed. But even then, people still believed in Buddhism, and the Sansa somehow kept going. Then a new dynasty began, the Goryeo dynasty, in 918. The Goryeo kings were Buddhists, but they also liked other beliefs like Confucianism and Korean shamanism. Buddhism wasn't the only important religion anymore, but it was still popular. The Sansa were still important for teaching about Buddhism. They were like centers of learning, and people came from other countries like China and Japan to study there. Imagine you're walking to a Sansa for the first time. You've been hiking on mountain trails, through forests and past waterfalls. Finally, you see it. A group of buildings nestled among the trees, their roofs shining in the sun. The Sansa isn't just built anywhere. Monks carefully choose the spot using an ancient art called pengsu, which is like feng shui. It's all about finding the best place to build where nature gives good energy. They believe the earth has energy called qi, and this energy can be good or bad for you. When choosing a spot for a Sansa, monks look at the mountains, valleys, and water. They want a place where the qi helps people meditate and feel peaceful. The perfect spot looks like a lotus flower, with the main temple buildings surrounded by mountains. The mountains are like strong protectors, and the valley below is open to good energy. Water is also important. It means purity and life. Sansa are often built near streams or have ponds to keep the good energy flowing. The buildings themselves are also carefully arranged, usually along a straight line from the entrance to the main Buddha hall. This line is like the path to enlightenment, and each building is a step along the way. Your journey into a Sansa starts at the Iljumun, or one-pillar gate. It's like a doorway between the normal world and the sacred world of the monastery. This gate, usually made of wood with a tiled roof, is the first step to enlightenment. Walking through it is like leaving your worries behind and opening your mind to something new. After the Iljumun, you'll walk through a courtyard with stone lanterns and pine trees. The path goes up the mountain towards the main gate, the Cheonwangmun, or Heavenly King's Gate. This gate is big and colorful, with statues of fierce guardians to keep bad spirits away. 4 heavenly kings, each guarding a direction, stand watch at this gate. They look scary, but they're there to protect the Sansa. They symbolize good winning over evil, reminding you to leave bad thoughts behind. Past the Cheonwangmun is the heart of the Sansa. There are many buildings for praying, studying, and living. Each Sansa is a little different, but most have a Daeongjeon, main Buddha hall, a Beopdang, Dharma hall for teaching, a Seongbo museum for important objects, and places where the monks live. The Daeongjeon is the most important building in the Sansa. It's usually the biggest and most beautiful, with statues of Buddha and Bodhisattvas, who are like Buddha's helpers. It's a very peaceful place, filled with the smell of incense and the sound of monks chanting. Inside, light comes through the windows and shines on the golden Buddha statues. The walls are covered in colorful paintings telling stories about Buddha, and the ceiling might have paintings of the sky and stars, showing how big and wise Buddha is. The Beopdang is another important building. It's a big open room where monks study, meditate together, and listen to teachings. It's simpler than the Daeongjeon, so the monks can focus. A monk's day at the Sansa is very organized. They wake up before sunrise, chant and bow in the Daeongjeon, and then have a simple breakfast. They meditate, study, and do chores in the morning. In the afternoon, there's more chanting, lessons in the Beopdang, and time for quiet thinking. The day ends with evening chanting and dinner, then they go to sleep. The Sansa are like living museums, full of beautiful Buddhist art and treasures that have been kept safe for hundreds of years. Everything, from the tall pagodas to the smallest wooden charm, has a special meaning. It shows how devoted and artistic Korean Buddhists are. The murals on the temple walls are amazing. They're painted right onto the walls or on cloth, showing stories about Buddha, scenes from Buddhist writings, or pictures of gods and protectors. The colors are still bright after all this time, and the details are incredible. Sculptures are also really important. There are Buddha statues everywhere, big and small, made of wood, bronze, or stone. They show Buddha in different poses, each with its own meaning. Sometimes he's sitting and meditating, looking peaceful. Other times he's standing or walking, showing his kindness to the world. Besides murals and sculptures, there are lots of other treasures. Wooden blocks for printing Buddhist texts, beautiful calligraphy scrolls with prayers, and fancy things used in ceremonies like incense burners, bells, and bowls. Many Sansa even have museums where you can see these treasures up close and learn about them. When the sun comes up, a new day begins at the Sansa. Inside the monks' rooms, simple wooden beds are made. Life here follows a strict schedule, meditating, chanting, studying, and working. Everything is done with care, making even simple chores feel spiritual. Before sunrise, a wooden moktak makes a sound, waking everyone up. Chanting helps the monks connect with the wisdom and kindness in the scriptures. After chanting, they bow, showing humility and respect. Meditation is the most important part of their day. In a quiet hall, they sit and focus on their breathing and their thoughts. This helps them stay calm and strong, ready for anything. A wooden gong rings and meditation is over. It's time for breakfast, a simple, healthy meal. Temple food is always vegetarian, often vegan, and doesn't use strong spices. Everyone eats quietly, paying attention to their food and remembering that everything is connected. The monks spend the morning studying, thinking, and working. They meet in the Dharma hall to read Buddhist texts and talk about them. Work is also important. It's seen as a spiritual practice. In the afternoon, there might be more chanting, lessons from older monks, or personal practice. Life at a Sansa is all about learning and growing, trying to understand yourself better. To really understand the Sansa, you have to look beyond the buildings and see the mountains. The monasteries are connected to nature. The mountains aren't just a pretty view, they're part of the experience. Imagine standing in the Sansa courtyard, breathing in the fresh air that smells like pine trees. Waterfalls flow down the rocks, and the streams are clear. This connection with nature is important in Buddhism. It teaches that everything is connected. The Sansa and the mountains are beautiful all year round. In spring, flowers bloom everywhere. In summer, the mountains are covered in green. Autumn brings bright red, gold, and orange leaves. In winter, everything is quiet and covered in snow, and the Sansa feels warm and peaceful. Special paths wind through the mountains, connecting holy places and offering a unique way to experience the Sansa. Walking these paths is like a spiritual journey, a chance to leave your worries behind and be with nature. The path might go through forests, up steep hills, or along streams. You might meet other pilgrims, all looking for peace. You feel like you're all on this journey together, trying to find inner peace in the mountains. The Sansa are like living history books, full of Korean spirituality and culture. The monks keep Buddhist teachings alive, passing them down through many years. These monasteries have always been places of learning, bringing in scholars, artists, and anyone searching for something more. The Sansa offer programs so visitors can experience what it's like to live there, helping people understand this ancient way of life. The Sansa are peaceful places to escape the busy world. Lots of people are interested in spiritual tourism, looking for experiences that make them feel good inside. The Sansa are perfect for this, with their focus on mindfulness, meditation, and nature. Whether you want a short break or a longer retreat, these mountain monasteries are a great way to unplug and reconnect with yourself and nature. As we finish our journey through the Sansa, these special places hidden in Korea's mountains, we can see they're much more than just beautiful buildings or historical sites. They show us how strong the human spirit is, how we always search for meaning and connection, no matter the time or place. The Sansa remind us that even in our busy modern world, there are still quiet places where time slows down, where old traditions are still alive, and where we can hear the wisdom of the past. They offer a place to escape the noise, reconnect with nature, and learn about ourselves. Whether you're looking for spiritual enlightenment, want to learn about Korean culture, or just want some peace and quiet, these mountain monasteries offer something special for everyone. Visiting a Sansa is like a pilgrimage, a journey not just to a place, but to a place inside yourself. It's about letting go of your worries and being open to change. The journey might be hard sometimes, but it's worth it. You'll feel a new sense of purpose, a deeper connection with nature and yourself, and you'll understand the wisdom hidden within these sacred mountain places.